We need to talk about something. And whether some of us care to admit it or not, it's something we all do. Sitting. I'm talking about sitting. Something we do more than half of our day on average, yet for one reason or another, a lot of us don't consider the importance of a high quality, comfortable chair. So this is why today I am reviewing the Boulies Fit Chair. Now the regular version of the Boulies Fit Chair, the one that I'm sitting in right now, retails for $670, and at the time of this review it's currently selling for $570. They make a pro version as well. The regular version, like the one I have, is sold in gray with the low back version. The pro version is a high back and you get headrest support. So different color for a different design. Obviously a different price point. It just comes down to if you want a high back version for a headrest or not. Now the Boulies Fit Chair is marketed as a high quality ergonomic chair, and it comes with a 6-year warranty, which is awesome. Now it's rated at 220 pounds for a maximum weight capacity, which is 150 kilograms, even though it comes with a class 4 hydraulic shock. The class 4 shock is rated for 550 pounds, which translates to 250 kilograms. So I'm not sure where the weight limitation came from. The only thing I could think of is because this chair is a little bit on the narrow side, maybe they're just marketing the 220 pounds purely from what they think a torso would fit comfortably in this chair, from an ergonomic standpoint. But the shock itself should not give out. The shock can handle quite a lot of weight. Now I chose the low back version because I just wanted a more spacious feeling. I don't normally lean all the way back and rest my head. When I'm working, I'm leaning forward typically and kind of, focusing in on what I'm doing. A low back chair like this has the advantage of not feeling as large or taking up as much space in the room. So depending on your office space or home office space, home use, whatever you're using this for, a smaller chair like this will not make the room feel as claustrophobic or closed off. So that's another benefit in addition to being less expensive, but obviously if you need the support, just get the higher chair and get that headrest. Now instead of reading all the dimensions of this chair, a picture is worth 1,000 words. So here are the dimensions. Feel free to pause it here. This is a better way of explaining the entire layout of the chair and how it measures to hopefully give you a better idea. Now this chair is an absolute breeze to assemble. I didn't even look at the directions in the box. I don't know if it's because I've reviewed a lot of chairs, but basically when you open it, the entire top half of the chair is basically built outside of the armrests. All you have to do is open up the wheels, put the casters in the base. Once you've done that, you put the gas shock on top of the base. Then you take the entire chair assembly and snap it right on top. It basically is pressure fit. From there, the design for the armrest is really intuitive. They just kind of slide into place. Then there's one very heavy duty screw or bolt that gets put in on each side, and they give you a tool with ample leverage, making it fairly easy to do. All in all, even without directions, it only takes about 5 or 10 minutes to assemble, provided you're not, wasting too much time. Now the chair has kind of like an infinite recline setup. You can kind of lean back or forward as much as you want and it'll smoothly adjust, but there's also 3 locking positions as well. You have 100 degrees that you can lock, 112.5 degrees, and then 125 degrees if you want to keep the chair in a more reclined state. You can lock in these recline positions just by pulling a tiny handle on the left side of the seat cushion. On the right side of the chair, there are 2 more levers integrated into the seat cushion, with the rear one allowing you to slide the seat cushion forward and back, and the front one is there to adjust your seat height. This adjustment mechanism feels much more robust and well made, and frankly easier to use than the traditional seats that you see, like the levers hanging out on the bottom on both sides. All of that is gone, so it's a very clean looking chair, and I wish that more manufacturers implemented this because I like not having to bend over to fumble and pull the right or wrong lever to get the seat adjusted the way I want. Now the frame and seat base are made out of aluminum, and the included 6cm casters are made of polyurethane. You can switch out the casters if you like later. It uses a standard mounting mechanism, so they basically just pressure fit. So if you go online and you want a different wheel design or like the rollerblade style, you can easily do that and they swap in and out with no problem. Now the seat cushion is made of 100% cold cure foam, which means it should last for a very long period of time. Cheaper foams tend to break down over time and you kind of see the seat start to collapse. A cold cure foam is more robust and durable and it doesn't have that same wear characteristic. Now there's a lot of adjustability with the armrests as well. You can telescope them up and down. They also slide forward and back, and you can rotate them to help you kind of dial in the exact angle and position that you're looking for. They have a little bit of cushion on them, but they're a bit firm and they're geared more towards durability. I added some softer armrests over the top, which does raise up the height quite a bit, but it still fit me fine on the lower settings. This was much more comfortable for me this way, and I could still adjust them. The only real nitpick I had with the armrests is they don't fully lock in the exact position you dial in. They have a locking mechanism for the height, which is great, but they never lock in place for the forward and back or rotation motion, which a lot of times can move as you're getting up. So you may find yourself constantly adjusting them depending on how much pressure you put on them. Not the end of the world. You know, some people like this design. At least it feels very durable. The clicks are very solid and consistent. It still feels like it's going to hold up a long time. Now, admittedly, when I first sat in this, I was kind of concerned with the lower lumbar support. I reviewed a Vertigear chair recently, and that one had amazing lumbar support, and that was a gaming chair. So when I sat in this, I'm like, how is an ergonomic chair giving me less back support than that? Then I found out there are adjustable tabs on the side of the chair that you can pull up and down to position the angled lumbar support to better fit your body. Once you do that, it's in a much better position. It doesn't quite push out as far as some chairs do, but it's not overly aggressive. It kind of gives you a natural support without being too little or too much. Now, another thing I had to change was the reclining resistance. Out of the box, it was fairly loose, and just the weight of myself leaning back, the chair wanted to recline back quite easily. Looking underneath the chair, I found a really nice handle design. All you have to do is grab this handle, pull it out, turn it clockwise to make the chair recline stiffer, or put it counterclockwise to loosen it back up, and that will help you dial it in. Once you're done dialing in the stiffness, just push that handle back in and you're good to go. Now, I've used this chair for hours at a time each day with no issues. Obviously, you take your lunch and food breaks and whatnot, but ultimately it's extremely comfortable. One thing I didn't expect from looking at the spec sheets is how light the chair is. It's lighter than a lot of the gaming chairs I've reviewed in the past, which are more cumbersome and awkward to move around. Especially in this low back version with the lower weight and thinner design, is very easy to maneuver. And when you're not sitting in the chair, that's kind of a nice thing, just being able to easily move it in and out of the way. And then when you're sitting in it, there's also less resistance because now the chair doesn't weigh as much either. So it's just easier to work with. Now, this fabric is extremely comfortable from a breathability and heat standpoint. So if you're working long hours every day, your body and potential significant other at home will appreciate that. Naturally, because I also review a lot of gaming products, I think it's fair to bring up gaming comfort as well. An ergonomic chair will typically be a better option than a gaming chair, whether you're gaming or not. Your body doesn't care if you're playing games, listening to music, or working, so having a chair like this that maintains proper posture and comfort for long periods of time is a really smart decision. The one little thing I noticed when it came to gaming is if you are ever playing with a controller, I tend to drop my elbows in between the armrests and I hold the controller that way. And doing that with this chair, because it's a little bit more narrow than I'm used to, it felt more constrained and restricted because my elbows kind of bump up against the armrest. It can kind of make you crazy if you're like really focused on a competitive game, for example. So all I had to do was lower my armrests all the way and I was still able to have a comfortable gaming position. I just couldn't do it the way I used to. Overall, I really like the Boulies Fit Chair. I think if there are people out there that aren't looking for a chair of this caliber, you know, between like a quality, comfort, ergonomics standpoint, there are less expensive chair options on the market that can give you similar features on paper between the recline, adjustable 4D armrests, and whatever it may be. I think you invest in a chair like this if you don't want to keep investing in chairs over the next few years. It can end up saving you money in the long run depending on how often you like to switch things out just for the sake of it. But from a build quality standpoint and the way this feels, I think your body will appreciate having a more ergonomic, comfortable chair to live with. So that about wraps up the video. Thank you so much for stopping by. If you're new to the channel, don't forget to like and subscribe. I'd love to see you at a future video. I will have links in the description below to help purchase this. I don't have any kickbacks set up with Boulies or anything. It'll just be to help you find the chair in case you're interested. But as always, I hope you found the video helpful. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.